Um, all those opposed? All those abstain? Not every senator voted. We're gonna go ahead and do that again. All those in favor of the motion on the floor? Thank you. All those opposed? All those abstain? Senator Velarde, how do you vote?
In favor.
Thank you. Motion passes 12-0-0. The undergraduate sustainability director's proposed budget for the following academic school year.
Is it okay if I explain a little bit about like the fall retreat allocation, because some people were asking about it?
Sure.
Okay, so for the line item that got changed to training for all elected officials for 2,700, that would be for training for all elected officials. They can happen in the beginning of the year or sometime throughout the year, or it could be divided up to different trainings. And then the other 2,700 would go towards the addition of the senator projects. So that amount had an increase of 2,700 as well. Okay, now we can move on to the next one. Thank you. Sustainability Director. So the only change in this one is the amount that the VP of Sustainability would be receiving, because it is now a VP position for the next upcoming year of $9,900. Does anyone have any, can I get a motion and then we can have a conversation, or we could just vote?
I move to approve the 2020-2021 VP of Sustainability budget.
Can we discuss it real quick?
Wait a second.
Second to discuss.
Yes, what's your question?
What is line item meeting expenses? What does that encompass specifically?
Usually food for the meetings. Because this committee specifically, they meet very often throughout the year and for very long. Does anyone else have any other questions? If not, we can just keep going.
Are there any other questions? All those in favor of approving the VP of Sustainability's proposed budgets for the following academic school year? All those opposed? Senator Huerta, are you opposing? All those abstain?
I was approving. I'm so sorry. I was busy reading the.
It's all right.
There was a question for one of the questions for this.
Yeah.
Senator Velarde, how do you vote?
In favor.
Thank you. I'm not sure who this person is. I'm gonna ask you to unmute. Is that a senator? I can't tell because the screen is black. And I'm not sure if I'm recording the votes wrong, but I can't tell who this is.
Is it Alex?
I'm not sure.
Yeah, it is.
Oh, okay. Awesome. Thank you, Alex. Okay. Motion passes 12-0-0. Are there only 12 senators present right now? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. There's 13 of you all. I'm gonna need you to vote one more time. All those in favor of approving the VP of Sustainability's proposed budgets for the following academic school year? Okay, awesome. Thank you. Senator Velarde, you said you approved, correct?
Correct.
Awesome. Thank you. Motion passes 13-0-0.
Moving on to Pro Tem. Can I address one of the questions? So basically in this budget, it's all of ASUCR's student fees of where it would go to next year. And usually the each item we're going through, it's someone different. So this one would be a president pro tempore, and basically like they're the senator. The last one was the sustainability director, who's who's going to become the sustainability vice president. So that's why we're having different amounts for different budgets. Okay, for this one, the budget will stay the same. Does anyone have any questions? If not, can we have a motion for the pro temp budget?
I have
Motion to
a question.
Can we motion and then we can talk?
motion to approve the allocated budget for the president pro tempore.
Thank you. Is there a second?
Second, is it necessary to print 35 copies of the Constitution?
Nope.
No.
Don't.
Yeah. Should we just remove the line item then? It's because it's
From experience from being pro temp, I would say just leave some money in there because I know that our pro staff or Lori specifically usually prints out a copy of the Constitution since she has to have a physical copy of it. So I would just leave. I don't know how much paper costs, but something in there. But yeah. She says it's in the bylaw and she has to print 5 copies.
75 is fine. I think 75 for the budget should be fine.
Address the student parents comment from Alyssa. So basically, senators each have their own allocation for a project. So you could use like your senator budget to fund anything for a student parent event that you would like to host. And then Lori said amend for $75. Can we have someone amend for $75?
Well, I think it should be the senators who decide how much should be going into the budget, not Lori.
Motion to reallocate 75 or decrease the budget to $75 for Constitution copies.
Second.
Thank you. All those in favor of approving the motion on the floor?
Most likely into the contingency fund.
I'm sorry. All those in favor of the motion on the floor? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Senator Gutierrez, how do you vote? Senator White Gutierrez, how do you vote?
She did a point of privilege, so she's not there right now.
Okay. Senator Velarde, how do you vote?
In favor.
Awesome. Thank you. Motion passes 12-0. Next we have the Judicial Branch, I believe.
Yes. Yes, basically. Contingency budget, yeah. So here's for the justices. It's the same exact budget. If anyone has any questions, we can do it after we put a motion in it. Can someone motion for the justices budget?
Motion to approve the proposal for the justices budget.
Second.
Thank you. Is there any discussion? I see no one. All those in favor of the motion on the floor? All those opposed? All those abstain? Senator Velarde, how do you vote?
In favor.
Thank you. Motion passes 12-0. Next we have Marketing Promotions Director, proposed budgets.
Same exact budget, and then we can put in a motion for the marketing director, and then we can have a conversation. If anyone has any questions, can I have a motion?
Motion to approve marketing director's budget.
Thank you. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you. Is there any discussion?
I have a comment. I remember, didn't we add a line item to have a paid position under Marketing and Promotions Director? Or was that under another position?
Might be a different position because if they did have an added one, then it would have been added to the budget. But I mean, next academic year, the next marketing director could put in another position to get paid throughout the year. Because all the money that we don't spend in here would go into the contingency budget, and that's where like other people would get funding for.
Okay, thank you.
Is there any more discussion? I see no one. All those in favor of the motion on the floor? All those opposed? All those abstain? Senator Velarde, how do you vote?
In favor.
Thank you. Motion passes 11-02. Next we have the outreach directors.
So again, the outreach director position and the other people, it was moved towards the VP of Finance budget, so it got decreased to $0. So thank you. Sorry. Can we have a vote for the outreach budget?
Motion to approve outreach director's budget.
Second.
Is there a second? Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you. Is there any discussion? All those with the motion on the floor? All those opposed? All those abstain? Senator Perez, I'm sorry, how are you voting? Your hand's been up this whole time. Are you approving, opposing, or abstaining?
Approving. Sorry about that.
Thank you. Senator Velarde, how do you vote?
In favor.
Thank you. Motion passes 13-0-0. Next we have the UCSA proposed budget.
So this is the membership amount that ASUCR pays towards the UCSA, which is $52,336. Does anyone have any, can we have a move to approve this amount?
Motion to approve the UCSA budget.
Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you. Is there any discussion? I see no one. All those in favor of approving the motion on the floor? All those opposed? All those abstain? Senator Velarde, how do you vote?
In favor.
Thank you. Motion passes 13-0-0. Next we have the Brenda Budget.
So students also pay an additional GCAB referendum budget, and this is the amount of money that GCAB would be using. Can we have a motion?
Motion to approve GCAP allocated budget.
Second.
Second.
Is there any discussion? I see no one. All those in favor of the motion on the floor? All those opposed? All those abstain? GSOE Senator Zhang, how do you vote?
I approve, sorry.
Thank you. Senator Velarde, how do you vote?
In favor.
Thank you. Motion passes 13-0-0. Next we have the VP External Affairs proposed budget.
So this is the VP of External Affairs. So on the top would be any like expenses that they would have. The bottom would be the stipends, and then at the bottom that is $69,780. That would be for the conferences, which would be a total budget of $115,611. Can we have a motion?
Motion to approve the EVP budget.
Second.
This is the External Affairs Vice President budget, not the EVP budget.
My mistake. The External Affairs Vice President budget.
Thank you. Thank you. Is there any discussion?
Will any of these need to be changed because some of them may not be able to be held for the next school year? I don't know. Just
No, that's actually
maybe put the thought out there.
That's a really good question. So it will just depend if they're able to meet in person or not next year, and if not, then they could just reallocate the money towards something else. So can you scroll down EVP Cortez and then show them like the conferences, because most conferences would be meeting in person, so that's what the ones would not be used most likely.
Point of clarification.
EVP Cortez.
Who was that?
Vincent.
Oh, I'm sorry. You're a member of the public, unfortunately. This time is only for elected officials to speak. I'm so sorry.
If you type in the chat, I can read it out for you.
Okay. Are you typing, Vincent?
I think he is. So we'll just wait.
Director Chang.
TSA is working on whether we will be hosting conferences and expending travel next year, working on an updated budget that we will revise once this is decided. Thank you.
Okay.
Any other questions?
Any other comments? No one. All those in favor of the motion on the floor? All those opposed? Also, Senator Velarde, how do you vote?
In favor.
Thank you. Motion passes 13-0. Next we have the Student Voice Initiative proposed budget.
So it's the same, and then the total income will be $69,781. Can we have a motion?
Motion to approve this budget for Student Voice.
Initiative.
Second.
Thank you. Is there any discussion? I see no one. All those in favor of the motion on the floor? All those opposed? All those opposed? All those abstain? Senator Velarde, how do you vote?
In favor.
Thank you. Motion passes 13-0. Next we have the Bear Stand proposed budget.
Thank you, Ames. To clarify, SVI is a referenda, so any unused funds will roll over to the next year. There's a time for many to be joined together because you're in strict terms. Will this also be the same for? There could be a meeting if they do decide to change the amount for the food for fall retreat. Most likely the money that officers don't use, they usually reallocate it towards something else. And then for Bear Stand, it's the same exact budget. Can we have a motion?
Motion to approve the finance budget for Bear Stand.
Second.
Is there any discussion? I see no one. All those in favor of the motion on the floor? Thank you, Carla. All those opposed? All those abstain? Senator Nguyen, how do you vote?
In favor?
Thank you. Senator Velarde, how do you vote? Senator Velarde?
In favor.
Thank you. Motion passes 13-0.
And then we're on the last budget for organizations. So this is to fund for all the organizations, over 400 organizations here on campus, and the opening balance will be $122,862. Can we have a motion for the organizations budget?
Motion to approve the organization's budget.
Second.
Is there any discussion?
Why is Bear Stand listed on there twice?
Most likely it's just to add it on, but as you could tell, it's the same amount number, so it's just the same dollar amount, but it doesn't mean we're paying for it twice.
It's 15,000 on the other one and 16,700.
16,700 on the other one.
Yeah, so they're different.
No, they're the same.
Oh, right here. Oh, my bad.
Thank you for that, though. Any other questions?
Oh, man. Okay. Are there any other questions? I see no one. All those in favor of...
Sorry, I actually have a question, but I'm trying to type it out in the chat to be read.
Okay.
Is there any way to increase club allocations? If we wanted to give them more money, is that possible?
That's under the referendum because again, this is for student fees, so we would have to re-vote about it during elections if you would like to increase the amount. But usually we have a reserves, which is the savings account. So when we do run out, then we'll just get more from reserves, which we've done this past year for I think about $250,000 or something like that.
Awesome. Is there any more discussion?
And then for the person who said they had the question, I could just type it out to them for the answer so we could just save time.
Okay. Awesome. All those in favor of the motion on the floor?
Is it?
Sorry, what?
Oh, I was just I was in a raising hand, I'd like to ask a question. So you think Cortez, is it okay if I ask a question? I was just going to ask because I know that the student had raised their concern about their question. Is it possible to wait until they send their question, just because it might pertain to how we may vote on the issue? It doesn't necessarily have to pertain to how we vote on it, but I would feel more comfortable if we waited to actually get out their question.
Meeting has been going on for almost if they don't respond in the chat within the minute, we're gonna go ahead and move on.
She just put it in, so I'll answer. In preparing for future terms for online, can more money be directed towards funds and projects to support the student at home that are more in need? So this is a really good idea, Zoe. However, again, this is student fees, and we can't spend student fees on anything that we'd like to. The only reason why we could change the R-year allocation towards like something very specific to help undergraduates is because it's non-student fees. We're also proposing a fund for student organization for. Also, ASUCR cannot donate funds towards ASUCR cannot donate funds with student fees towards like charities or organizations, because that's the referendum that students voted on years before of what the money would be spent on.
Awesome, thank you. Are there any other comments, questions, concerns? I see no one. All those in favor of the motion on the floor? All those in favor of the motion on the floor?
So there's one more question in the chat underneath mine.
I can answer it when they're done voting.
Thank you. All those opposed? All those abstain? I'm sorry, Senator Huerta, which way are you voting? I can't hear you, I'm sorry.
Sorry, I'm having technical difficulties. I approve.
Thank you. Senator Velarde, how do you vote?
In favor.
Thank you. Motion passes 13-0. VP Chang, is that all of them?
Yes. Can I address the question?
Yeah, could you just answer it in the chat, please?
Yeah, that's fine. Thank you. Thank you, everyone. That's it for me.
So we have a committee report from TCOP. Oops. Ames, do you know which is it a grant?
It's not a grant. It's allocations out of STIP, which is short-term investment pool, which is basically interest that they don't have restrictions on. It should be in the GCAP folder under the minutes today.
Under the minutes, you said?
Yeah, in GCAP. I'm not sure if that was it. Let me look down, please. Let me. She didn't send you something in your email?
Mm-hmm.
Let me ask her. Okay. I just texted Lexi. But basically, there's more information in supposedly a report, but they want to allocate $10,000 out of their STIP, and I think they have roughly $40,000 in there to co-sponsor ASP, and there's a programming that they're doing for the Black Lives Matter movement. So that's basically what it's. I don't know why. Let me go on the shared drive.
If you could just tell me how to get to it, I can get to it. I'm not.
Sorry, everyone, for the delay. She was supposed to have sent it to you.
Where you're going to serve in the shell did not get done. I think this is a pretty spectacular example of a constitution involved in this terrifying game. Constitution.
Unfortunately, I don't see where she has it, and she's not answering. So, at this point, I think they're just going to have to. And which I know this is the last Senate meeting, so they're going to have to wait till the fall, unless we do unless they do summer session ECAB votes, which Vanessa is now part of ECABs. And does that make sense?
Ames, are you okay with us continuing with the meeting?
Yes, please continue with the meeting.
We're going to exhibition reports. If there are any speakers present that would like to give a report today, please do so now.
I can give how much time do I have?
I believe it says 3 minutes per person.
Okay. Essentially what I was going to do is share a survey that we conducted this spring. So it's a survey that has a few things talking about academics, housing involvement for the transfer non-traditional student community. It's kind of thorough. I feel like I don't know if now's the time to share. I really, we would have more time, but I don't know if I can share my screen or if I should just share it and y'all can take a look after.
Send it to my email, please. It doesn't matter if it's my personal or the ACCR. Can you send it and share it?
Sounds good. Thanks. But essentially, we did a survey, a two-part survey. One was during winter quarter, conducted by a student voice committee. One was conducted, again, a little bit more thorough by our committee, the Transfer Non-Traditional Student Committee. The purpose was to just further look at the experiences transfer non-traditional students are facing in regards to academics, housing, involvement. We had a little bit more, but we ended up narrowing it down to 107 online survey respondents after we went through them and had to take out some respondents given that they were not valid. I really suggest everyone takes a look, but just to make it sure, regarding the academic experience, we need to improve the advising. We need better guidance from the community college transitioning to the university so students aren't taking more classes than they need. We need professors to do better networking and mentorships to ensure that during their short time here, they're being up to date with the same time that our four-year students get. We have students that face a delay in graduation due to poor civility, only being offered in sorting quarters. We need more available courses and other things such as transfer cohorts. As you know, we register last, sometimes 2 to 3 weeks before classes when there's nothing left. There's many time scheduling conflicts, which is really hurtful, primarily to our student parents. And there's also issues with prerequisite clearance, and that's kind of what we want. So for actions, we want to have better communication, coordination between the community college and university. We want to establish transfer cohorts, or at least have more room reservations or class spaces saved for transfer students. We also want to conduct better trainings and improve the understanding of the registration process, prerequisite requirements, degree audit, and other academic support services. If you take a look at the survey, you can see that we profoundly found that many students were not given this proper introduction to some of these tools and resources. We also thought that the orientation experience is definitely not as holistic or enthusiastic compared to the freshman one. We need more focus on registering for classes. I think we should also have a 2-day event similar to what the freshmen have. We need more information for housing. We need more Q&A sessions, more community building. And if some people thought that it was long and it's a little bit strenuous for our student parents in particular, and we feel like it's less, we just feel like we have less importance in a way, given that ours is so much later and so much closer to when it's more limited. Given the housing situation, we only found that about 15 to 16% of transfer students that took the survey live in housing. Everyone else has to fend out for themselves and find it off campus. In particular, students are facing a lot of issues finding family housing. In particular, many students, some in which noted that they had to go homeless because they weren't able to get any kind of housing or any kind of support. We know that those that get housing off campus are most likely to be ones that have friend groups for transfer students. We don't have that friend group that we can establish coming in here, so we have too much. We don't have enough support.
Is there a motion to extend time?
Motion to extend time by 5 minutes.
Yeah, sorry, it'd be easier.
All those in favor of extending time by 5 minutes? All those opposed? All those abstain? Senator Velarde, how do you vote?
And David?
Thank you. There's like, is that Matthew? Matthew, is that you in like the dark? I can't see. Okay, we're just gonna assume he's gone. Motion passes 12-0-0. You have 5 more minutes.
Point of order. I think there's more people in the waiting room again.
Thank you. I will let them in the queue. Director Calderon, you have 5 more minutes.
Thank you. Again, sorry, I'm trying to rush. It's a lot of content, and it's going to be much easier here if if I can try to. I'll have a different segment later on, and I can share how we can share this. But I don't know if you can pull it up.
Did you any
Cortez? I sent it to the Gmail one.
I'm sorry, which
I
one?
think it's the EDP. ASUCR EDP.Cortez@gmail. Let me do it to yours, please.
It's just ASUCR EDP@UCR.edu.
Got it. Thank you. Sorry. So we're finding disparities when it comes to housing. For myself, when I applied, I never heard back from housing. It appears that upon our respondents and others that I've spoken to, it's the same similar situation where we get our notification that we've been admitted later on, and when we finally apply to housing, sometimes we don't get an offer or we don't hear back. So that's a persistent issue that we found when we took this survey. We need to continue to find support from students. In particular, I think this is for all students. Some issues they're finding is trying to terminate their lease because of COVID-19. We see that winter transfers are disproportionately the worst because when they get here, a lot of times they do not have any kind of support. They don't have the same kind of resource. When they land here, a lot of times housing is not available for them. And again, it's difficult to find that kind of community when they get here in the winter because all the cliques are already established, social networks are already kind of established. Sorry, I don't know if you're sharing it or not. I'm trying to pull it up. If not, it's totally fine. But when we look at employment, we only found, based upon those that filled it out, only about 20% were employed on campus, and most others were employed off campus. So we see a disparity when it comes to people trying to find jobs on campus, particularly transfer students. We understand that a lot of times jobs prioritize getting freshmen or sophomores or people that are a little bit younger or have more times just to have more longevity. But by doing so, you're essentially missing out a lot of juniors and seniors who are transfer students who, no fault to them, are only here for such a short amount of time. So something we saw is that many of the respondents. Sorry.
Go ahead. Sorry, EVP Cortez. How'd it go?
No worries. So many apply to. This is persistent. Many people apply to campus jobs, but they do never hear back. They go through interviews and they never hear back. Again, there's a preference with sophomores over people that are a little bit older. There's a lot of times a lack of communication, especially right now given the COVID-19. We found that some students were getting. Sorry, someone spoke.
Go ahead, Director Colleen.
Thank you, sorry. We see there's a lot of lack of communication again when it comes to COVID-19, in particular those that are going to be hired at the barn. We see that there's a requirement and when it comes to, let's say you need 2 quarters already established to get a job or get some kind of opportunity. And again, a lot of times they don't get that. When it comes to internships, we found that it stated that they did not receive an internship at all or fellowship, with only 12.3% actively applying, with only 13% indicating that they did have an internship. When it comes to research opportunities, we only found that 14% have a research opportunity at UCR, with the overwhelming majority getting an internship opportunity. When it came to the free response, we say that professors are the ones that essentially give them the opportunity, so there needs to be a little bit of work from the students' point of view, but and at the same time, they stated that sometimes they're not given the proper resources or the proper training on how to find these resources and opportunities. We feel that we should establish a transfer non-traditional student inclusivity training for all departments who hire or give opportunities to students to reflect that they have a particular struggle, that sometimes they come with limited amount of time, and by doing so, they're not able to get fully acclimated to the campus. We also think that we should further monitor how many opportunities are given to the Transfer Non-Traditional Student Committee. Here at ASUCR, for a lot of time, I was the only transfer student at my ambassador program. I'm the only transfer job. I'm the only transfer student. So we continue, I continue to see these disparities. And I just want to try to see if we can welcome more of these people on these different boards, these different opportunities. Finally, when it comes to campus involvement, some people felt that it was hard to be involved because they're commuters, they're student parents, or they're working outside of school. We also find that it's hard to find a group, or sometimes it's intimidating, especially given the orientation where the transfer has much less outreach and a lot less organizations come out compared to the freshman one. And again, given that it's so late in the game, especially for our winter transfers. And finally, we found that most of them have only attended, about half have only attended 1 to 5 events, or 75% have only attended 1 to 10 events, so most have not attended many ASUCR events. When it comes to the most popular campus resources utilized, 84.5% use libraries, 70% use the student recreation center or office hours. 70% use office hours, 55% use SRC, and 55% use the art pantry. And finally, I want to acknowledge that, of course, this survey was conducted during the spring quarter, during this difficult time. Originally, we hoped to have more extensive outreach, particularly in person, but nonetheless, we value the respondents, and we believe that by sharing this data with the administration, we'll be sharing this information with everyone, including right now in the chat, that we can go ahead and further have this conversation, incorporate a more inclusive community for our transfer non-traditional students, often the ones that face really, really difficult struggles when acclimating here. So with that being said, I'll go ahead and share, and sorry for not sharing earlier, but Dan will talk more later. I'm so sorry for being so much information so late.
Okay, so apologies everyone. EVP Cortez had technical difficulties, her Wi-Fi cut off, so I'm going to run the meeting. G comes back, but I will be sending the transcript of the meeting over. I will ask the EVP to get the transcript of the minutes, or the minutes and the transcript of the chat, and then I would record the rest of the meeting. But I feel uncomfortable recording without asking permission of everyone, or signing waiver, because I don't know what the video would be used for. But I commit to get the transcript to pro staff if everyone's comfortable with that.
Can I comment?
Yes.
And I just wanted to ask another transcript. Students can also go ahead and if you go ahead and just grab everything that is in the chat and put it onto your notes, that works as well for your own records. Might just be good practice. But for any students that want want to have that documentation immediately, you're welcome. I mean, that is a tool to use.
Does anyone have any more comments on what Director Calderon spoke about? Okay, and then we were in ex officio reports, correct? Okay, so is there any other ex officio in the room that would want to say something? If not, I would go next. Okay, so I'm gonna go next. I term out next Sunday during the virtual commencement once that's done. And I'm currently working on passing the baton to the other ECAB members. We initially had a chancellor meeting this Friday, or actually I don't know the date, but it was this week. And I had received a call from the BCSA assistant about rescheduling, because the meeting was supposed to be used for creating action officers, because that's our duty to meet with campus leadership. But of course, I now recognize that I should have fought canceling the meeting due to a lot of the student concerns, and especially the community right now on campus. And when I was made aware that I made a mistake in terms of like canceling that meeting, I immediately reached out again to the BCSA and their assistant to set up a rescheduled meeting. And now, instead of creating a transitional period meeting or a transition meeting with a campus admin, I have invited the two co-presidents of the BSU, and then also both the incoming and also the current ECAB. But the meeting will be centered, or I'm going to give that meeting up to center around Black student voices, and for them to bring their demands and also the demands of the student orgs who signed on. And that's basically the last update I have. I'm still going to the last few meetings that I have to serve this next couple of weeks. I will be going to all meetings past my term, but I will be attending with the new AS president to do, again, like a transition thing. So I'm working on getting that meeting rescheduled. I just need to get back to presidents of BSU. And before the meeting, I would want to set up a meeting individually with them and allow them to invite other Black student leaders on campus. So do whatever I can possible in the last few days in my term. And again, I know in the statement that we said that our actions are going to speak louder than words, and I hope my actions in these next couple of days are able to prove that on my personal behalf. But that's what I will be doing the next couple of days. And Luna, you had a question for me?
It's
I'm sorry, Director Sebastian.
No, it's fine, it's fine. The reports, are they over? Or, I was in the phone call with my mom, so I missed it, but
No. I was the next one in ex officio, so if you want to go right after me.
Yeah, that's perfect.
Okay. So yeah, I just have the last few meetings in my term to attend as president, and I will be working with as many people as possible to want the student. I made the executive decision to put ASUCR's name onto the BSU student demands. So we officially endorse every single one of those demands apart from what we put in the resolution. And I'm going to be advocating for all those demands to be fulfilled before I leave UCR. So hopefully we are able to make good progress on that. But does anyone else have any questions or concerns for me, or would like to see me do something before I leave? Since I don't see anyone raising their hand or in the chat.
Oh wait, sorry.
Yeah.
Are you still going to be okay? So your transition meeting with the ASUCR up to like a transitional meeting where Black students are going to be voicing their opinions. Are you still going to have like a regular transition meeting?
Yeah, so there was already a meeting scheduled in July, so that's what we're going to use that meeting instead. we're gonna, the BCSA assistant said that they would be willing to invite us back to help do that transition meeting with campus leadership in July. And in that case, that we still need, that the new ECAP still needs to advocate or push administration more to get the voices of Black students lifted and uplifted, then use that meeting for that as well. And then we can figure out some way to do transition. I think hearing from Black students is more important right now than doing a transition for AS. Other question?
I have a quick question.
Yes.
But on the meetings, I'm not exactly sure where we're at. But GCAP had an allocation that due to some confusion, we weren't able to get on the agenda. Yes. So I'm wondering when was the appropriate time to bring that up? The time for the GCAP allocation had already passed. Do you mind waiting until after ex officio reports, and then we can move back to add the actually, is Greystone, am I allowed to do that? I'm not the EDP, so I don't know the procedure. Am I allowed to go back to a line item that we did? Sorry?
I'm here, what's up?
Am I allowed to add an agenda item if we already passed it? Or Lori, if you could answer that.
Yeah, I think just because I'm not sure because the agenda was approved. I'm not sure the rules on that. If Lori is still on, I don't know if there's anything about that in the bylaws. I don't have the bylaws in front of me. Senator Thomas had the bylaws earlier.
Oh,
hi,
Lori,
Lori.
do you know if I can just bring back the GCAP allocation into the agenda after ex officio reports?
I believe that it wasn't resolved, right? Me now. I think that she was trying to look for something, she couldn't find it. So we can go back to that subject to complete it in the agenda since it was never solved.
Okay, so I can
make a motion to go back and finish that agenda item, which is, she added it to part 6C, I think it was.
Yeah, it was under reports. Could we finish? Is everyone okay with finishing ex officio and then going back to that to add the motion?
Yeah, thank you.
So I was done with mine. Does anyone have any last questions for me or concerns?
Wait, so are we going to go to the GCAP allocations right now, or?
I think Director Sebastian had a report. Yeah. Perico, and then we'll do the GCAP one. So Director Sebastian.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, so the first thing I just wanted to report were my monthly reports, I guess. Yeah, and since we have a lot of people here, I thought it would be a good opportunity to inform everybody that we do have reports posted, and they can check them out at any time they want on the website. And I think that's a really good idea on how to keep up with what everyone's doing or what everyone's not doing. And also that there's an end of the year report that I'm responsible of I guess creating, but I just wanted to give a heads up that I will be contacting everybody to send me at least one or two things that they feel, I suppose, they're most proud of, or they felt was the most successful event they hosted this year. And I did have two concerns that I wanted to address. And this is more than just as being a personnel director and just as a student. I did send out an email to ECAB requesting reports, and I only heard back from one, which was Jocelyn, BPCIA Ortiz. And that was a cause of huge concern for me because I stated before the end of winter quarter that one of my main goals for this quarter was to increase our transparency, especially since we were going to be off campus and, it's really hard to see what's going on when you're not there. So I was very concerned when I only heard back from one person. And I don't know, I don't want to ask each of you for an excuse. I'm just disappointed because I thought we all agreed that we would try to work together to increase it. But when things like that are done, I personally feel disrespected because I took the time to email y'all and I'm taking care of committee reports, senator reports all individually. And I really would appreciate it if y'all would have taken the time to answer, and I made it super easy. I asked for one paragraph, of a summarize. So I don't know what's up with that. And my third concern was regarding EVP Cortez's behavior during this meeting, and not even this meeting, but throughout the whole year. And we've met at this before, and I know you remember that meeting that I had with you. And I didn't address just her behavior. I addressed, multiple people, but in this meeting, it's especially concerning because, we do have a large amount of students who wanted to come here and speak their opinions, and being muted, that's just the, like the tip of the iceberg of why people call us, like elite. Hate to say it, but they're not wrong. And it's especially like, it was part of the reason why I decided not to run for this position, like next year, and why I don't want to be like in one of y'all's positions, because I know how performative people are. I've worked with y'all for a year, and honestly, I can't even say it was a good year because I'm just gonna put it out there. Like, I know a lot of people who I personally felt should have resigned, but the behavior, today from the EVP was honestly unacceptable. And then I don't want to like start, I guess, beef or whatever you would call it. But President Gonzalez, I was really disappointed with you saying that you can't address her behavior when there was an amendment this election season that would give you a right to have like some power in the Senate meetings. And if you didn't feel like you had the right to correct her behavior, what makes you think you have the right to have power in the Senate meetings? Additionally, I feel like there's just some unequal treatment between all of us, and y'all are so concerned about between each other, between ECAP, between the senators, but y'all literally pay any attention to your students, and it's like really concerning. But my point was just that I remember at the beginning of the year, y'all went out of your way to call out someone in a chat because of something they posted in Facebook or something, and y'all felt like you had the right to tell her how to act or what to say outside of this space. So it's just not adding up how you feel like you can't tell her that it's not okay to treat our students, those students that we serve, with that kind of behavior. It baffles me how we can come after each other for what we're saying outside of the space, but we can't address the issues we're doing right here, And it's like at this point, y'all like spew all this stuff about all this stuff. It's not about rebranding. It's about, working internally. And when y'all take every criticism so far up the ass, it's like it's like if it went so far up your ass, I think it'd reach your brain, but it doesn't. Like, y'all don't change. It's like it's too much to address right now. But I just want y'all to know that like I tried creating a safe environment for everybody to, and most people did. And this is another part. You don't need to retreat. I didn't go retreat because I knew we were going to a beach house. I didn't know where the money was coming from, and I didn't feel comfortable enough asking y'all, so I just didn't go. And I still knew everything. People came to me to ask me how to do retreat. So I'm asking you, what were y'all talking about in retreat? What was going on? Like, how did I know more than people who went there? It just baffles me. It baffles me completely. And honestly, I don't know how else to put it. I've been saying this for so long. I've met with people, like one-on-ones. Even me, who focuses mostly internally with ASUCR, I feel like I've had a lot amount of meetings with students because I want to know how to better my work to be transparent with this organization. It's very frustrating, and we're all grown people. I really expected y'all to know how to take this constructive criticism. We're college students, we hear that all the time. So it doesn't make any sense. And I know it's all about morals and character and all this stuff. That's exactly the point. I've had people come and tell me like all this other kinds of stuff, but I'm not gonna sit there and argue with them about why they're wrong. It doesn't make any sense to me. And it really triggered me that like it feels like nobody's respecting my work, and that you guys just completely ignore some of the messages I sent or like emails. It's really hard to feel productive like that. And I feel like I'm failing students because I'm not able to push forward my work without hearing back from all of you. There's two. I only received like 9 reports for April. Y'all, it's 18 of y'all. It's like half. I don't even know. I'm gonna leave it at that. I'm just gonna think about whatever y'all have going on. But yeah, that.
Thanks, Luna. I guess does anyone else, any other ex officio?
I would like to say that I was personally called out for signing on to the petition that had demands, and it was not my intention to kind of throw anybody under the bus. I was trying to show solidarity. I took initiative to join a group so that I could learn more and try to help, and someone took it the wrong way and thought that I was trying to divide us. No, I don't want to divide us. I want to advocate for the students, and that's all I've been trying to do all school year. So I'm going to drop my email in the chat. Please feel free.
Thanks, Chelsea. Does anyone have any?
I just wanted to add something. If anybody has questions on how to access those reports, y'all can hit me up at any moment. I think there's a picture of me at ASUCR and my tag is there, so they can just find me. But just in case they needed help finding that, but.
Someone also dropped the link to the committee reports.
Oh, okay, my bad. I wasn't. Okay. Okay, thank you, Preeti.
Is there any other ex officio wanting to give a report? I see no one. Can someone tell me what's next on the agenda? Public comment?
The GCAP allocation.
Oh yeah. Can I actually get a senator to motion to add the GCAP allocation back to the agenda?
Motion to add GCAP allocation back to the agenda.
Second.
Oh, Lori, did you want to say something for ex officio? I'm so sorry, yo. Lori?
Oh, yeah, no, I'm sorry. I just was wondering, are all the ex officios that wanted to speak, have they all had a chance to speak? That would be any ex officio, any ECAB member?
Carolyn gave her report with the budget, and then I don't think Luis is in the chat anymore.
Okay, just checking, thanks.
Thank you. Again, can someone motion to add the GCAP allocation back to the agenda?
Motion to add the GCAP allocation back to today's agenda.
Second.
Okay. All those in favor of adding the GCAP allocation back to the agenda? Senator Perez? In favor? In favor, right? Senator Perez in favor. And then Senator Velarde?
Favor.
All those opposed? Abstain, to passes 12-0-0. So can Nicandro or Ames, could one of you actually share the document with myself, since I will have to share my screen?
Hello.
Can one of you share the GCAP allocation to my email? I'm going to drop it in the chat.
Yeah. Sorry, my Wi-Fi was.
It's okay.
Acting up. What? Do you want to share your email real quick?
Yeah, it's in the chat.
Ooh, let's see. I think Ames said that she could. Actually, I'll send it real quick. It's fine. So while I'm sending it, I just want to let you all know what it was that we're doing. And I know it was a little hectic. There was a few issues with kind of figuring out who was doing what. So I apologize for that. But basically, GCAP has really been working hard to make sure that we're supporting students throughout all aspects of their time here with us. We understand that sustainability is a really intersectional issue, and we want to make sure that our students know that we're thinking of them the whole time. So what GCAP did is we had a meeting and discussed similarly to what we were able to do with our pantry, how we could support ASP African student programs to make sure that we could, short term and then also long term could provide further opportunities with GCAP, but also financially to make sure that we could be part of that solution as well. So GCAP wanted to allocate $10,000 from our short-term investment pool to co-sponsor some programs at ASP. Some of that co-sponsorship will be tied to some of their existing scholarship programs that they run, and
Sorry, you're cutting off.
One of their programs that I believe be related to blacks. Let me. Hello, is that better?
Yes.
Okay, cool. So again, just to summarize everything real quick, GCAP had a meeting. We just really want to make sure that we're supporting our Black students because sustainability is an intersectional issue, and we want to acknowledge that. So we got together and we wanted to allocate $10,000 to African student programs to co-sponsor some of their programs, ranging from some of their existing scholarship programs to a Black Wellness program that we were informed of by one of our GCAP members, Ariana Turner, that they will be hosting, where they'll be able to lead some, I believe, workshops on how to stay a little grounded and deal with anxiety during this time. It would also provide some sort of relief in the form of gift cards relating to some needs that Black and students of color may need during this time. So again, that is $10,000, and I believe it should be, yeah, you're in the right section.
Awesome. Okay, so can I get a motion so we can do discussion if there's any discussion?
Motion to approve GCAP meeting minutes.
Second.
Yeah, there are no week 10 meetings that are updated every time we have a meeting, and they can also be found on our website.
Sorry, what was that?
Did anyone have any questions for me relating to that?
Just to clarify, did Matt motion and then Stephanie seconded, right? Perfect. Okay, so is there any discussions or any questions about any of this?
I just want to say thank you, GCAP. That's really good. Really, very much.
Will there be any future issues if it's called a grant, but in reality it's a sponsorship? Or is it just terminology? Doesn't matter.
Oh yeah, I would say just to, it's important to recognize that it's a co-sponsorship and not a donation. I mean, it doesn't really make a difference. The money will still be going to ASP, but in terms for the record, it'll say co-sponsorship. Okay, so all those in favor of approving the $10,000 GCAP ASP relief co-sponsorship? I got 11, so Senator Velarde?
In favor.
So the GCAP allocation for ASP for $10,000 passes 12-0-0.
Jillian, there should be another grant on the minutes.
Oh, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry.
It's okay. I think Condra's having a hard time connecting.
Oh, I'm so sorry. Okay, so is it the Truth Project? Games?
Yes.
Okay. Will Nikandra be explaining, or I can read off the description that if it still doesn't explain.
Sure.
So GCAP approved a grant for $1,500 with the vote of 710. And what this is 3 groups of 24 students in Spirit Days They are briefed for 45 minutes with 4 volunteers. Each volunteer has the focus of chemical reactions in ocean and plasticizers. I don't know that word. Salt word versus fresh water. How does that relate? Media, empathy, media presence. You are given a punch card, so you pick up our trash in a day. Reporting the trash with Litter Rody app, and then you use the word with the data after. You give an update after 1 week. The study lasts for 1 hour long. I'm assuming this is a survey project, Ames. I don't know if you can explain more a little bit.
I'm asking Zoe to weigh in on it because she's in on the meeting here.
Zoe, if you wanna, can explain.
Sorry, connected.
Whoever,
I don't know.
Whoever wants to take over, you can explain.
Can you hear me clearly?
Yes.
Okay. Sorry. The Truth Project is a grant that we received from a student who is working to educate a core group of students to then run some surveys to understand what the best way to help other students understand what plastic pollution is like and how to tackle it on campus. So part of what's going on is I believe there's going to be gift cards being given out to students who participate, but also there's some needs in terms of like some research materials. And I believe the cost is pretty minimal, $1,500. So that's the core idea behind it. Just really figuring out ways that students can tackle plastic waste.
So can someone motion to approve this application?
Yeah, and if anyone had any other questions regarding the past thing, sorry.
So is there a motion for the Truth Project?
Motion to approve the meeting minutes.
Second.
Okay, so all the senators in favor of of approving the GCAP meeting minutes? So Senator Velarde?
In favor.
So motion passes 12-0-0. And that is all for GCAP, correct?
Yeah, just thank you all for a great year and definitely reach out to us if you have any questions. There's a chat feature on our website if you want to talk at any time. Thank you.
Thank you, Nakandra. Thanks, Ames. Is there, can someone remind me what's on next in the agenda?
There's public comment.
So any members of the public who wish to speak on any of the business discussed in this meeting, if you could just raise your hand in the participants. There's usually a time limit, but I'm not the EDP, so I will break the rules, and if you need to speak longer, you don't need to extend it. So if you want to raise your hand. Lily?
Hello. So I was told to speak during this time by a few senators, but what I really wanted to say was that these last two Senate meetings have been such a train wreck, and some of you have treated the pro staff and Senator Thomas very rudely, and I think that y'all should really consider how you speak to each other. I think it's only fair because we're all human beings nonetheless, and we all deserve respect. But anyway, keep this positive. So I would like to thank everyone for all their hard work that they've done for the students of UCR this whole year, especially to Director Wang, Director Calderon, Director Sebastian, Senator Hernandez, Senator Thomas, Senator Huerta, Senator Mendez, sorry, Senator Zhang, and Sina Senator Nguyen. I know that this year ended on quite strange circumstances, but your hard work is appreciated. A special thank you to VP Ortiz for having me in her office as a first-year fellow. I'm extremely grateful. And with that, I'd also like to congratulate everyone graduating and to everyone continuing and entering AS, I look forward to working with you. I hope we can work together to become a better student government that represents the voices of our UCR peers. Thank you and stay safe.
Thanks, Sally. Does anyone else have any public comment regarding any of the business discussed? Director Calderon?
Hi everyone. Again, thank you. And I suppose this is our last meeting, you know, and it's really finally daunting on me and how crazy it's been. It went by so fast, and I just want to apologize because I think I wanted to do more, and I think I was a lot more optimistic when we started. And with time, and with certain decisions and certain actions, I was vocal at first, and I'm being quiet and kind of distancing myself and kind of staying in my own lane. So I just want to apologize to everyone for not being as enthusiastic, I suppose, especially now how divided we've been in recent time. Given that, of course, I came into this role, prior to landing here, I knew about ASUCR, and it wasn't a good image. And I've said this before, that there's a blood stain on US ASUCR that predates any of y'all. There's been a legacy of corruption here. There's been a legacy of sometimes students not getting what they deserve, and oftentimes we see that there's a perception of infiltration from certain organizations here, and I think that a lot of times we don't necessarily represent the entire student population. So I just want to apologize. I came here as an outsider. I came here thinking that we could do a lot of change, and I think we did at times, but at the same time, I think I witnessed a lot of things that I don't necessarily agree with, and instead of me continuing to open my voice sometimes and kind of calling it out like as I've done before, I think recent times, again, I just kind of want to finish this quarter. So I just want to apologize to everyone, but I also want to thank everyone, because I think, it's been a good experience, even though it's been pretty bad sometimes. This is how we grow. Hopefully, we can take the good things out of this and learn from the bad. But I wish I did more looking back. I definitely regret not building as much coalitions, or not reaching out to as many people as I wish I did. So I just want to apologize to everyone for not necessarily doing the job that I wish I had done, and the job that I was really enthusiastic about towards the beginning. But with that being said, I still have hope. Some of you will be returning. Folks such as Lily that just spoke right now is what gives me hope, and a beacon of light. Others that have been participating, others that are being elected for next year. So I'm really hopeful. Just know I'm here to help you guys out, help you all out any way I can. And again, I just truly apologize for not being the person I wanted to be, I suppose. So thank you. It's been an honor serving everyone. We still have about a week left or so. So time's not up. I think we can still try to make up for the time lost. I know I made. I wish I did more, especially in recent events. I've been quiet, and I'm sorry for that. So for the next few weeks, if there's anything I can do and beyond that, I'm here to support y'all. I'm here to do whatever I can to help y'all out. So again, thank you. It's been an honor, and I look forward to seeing y'all again once we can in person. So thank you, and have a good one, everyone. Thank you. Go.
Thank you, Director Calderon. Does anyone else in the public want to raise their hand and speak on the business discussed in this meeting?
Will we have senator reports?
Yeah, I think it's after public comment, no?
Right, checking.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Yeah. So does any other member class want to speak on any of the business discussed in this meeting? Okay, so we're gonna move on to senator reports. I'm gonna go on who's based on my screen right now. Ashley, do you have something to say? Yeah, you could go ahead. You can unmute yourself.
Hi, yeah. I would just like to address the meeting really quick. Just from the public's point of view. It is something that I talked about with a few other people who are part of the working group, just to address some of the behaviors like in the meeting. and how it came across. I think an important part of allyship, allyship when we're talking about supporting movement is you need to be able to take criticism in stride. It does not come across well when criticism is met with certain behaviors or attitudes that comes across as you don't truly value the voices of students in this chat. And I hope that we can start to diminish the negative feelings between students and the student government. I really do. But this really does call for full transparency. This is one of the first meetings where there has been a large presence of students at it, and that's because we are all looking at what is going on. Not acceptable that this is just a one time. A lot of us are here, and that's it. You know, these meetings need to be made more public. It needs to be a more like Luna said, there is exclusivity within ASUCR, and that does need to be addressed from all issues. Racially, when it comes to students of different races, students of different sexualities, students of different abilities, students of backgrounds, you know, student parents, that does need to be addressed. And if I'm being honest, in these next few years, I'm not just looking for, oh, here's a few statements and stuff. There might need to be at a certain point new additions to ASUCR directly related to diversity and diversity related issues. Because if there's not a diversity council to continually check ASUCR, then nothing will actually change.
Thank you, Ashley. Julian Brambilla, thanks.
Again, someone's using my name, so they have to unmute
I'm sorry.
themselves. Sorry.
Whoever is using his name, you can unmute yourself and start speaking. Does anyone want to say anything? So whoever's using Julian's name.
Sorry, I don't know. Sorry, I don't know why I'm using his name. Probably it's the link that I use. But is it Evelyn? I don't know why it says their name. I'm sorry.
Okay.
But I just quickly want to say that I was really happy to be part of this space with you all, and that I really had high hopes for ASUCR, and I mentioned this so much when I gave my my leaving speech, but just seeing ASUCR, I want to say that I'm disappointed in a lot of senators because, you know, this is such a powerful position, and for many of you to just sit here and listen to everything that's going on and not give your input, that says a lot about you, a lot of your character. Like, this is such a huge title. You're literally getting to decide on the budget for next year, and the fact that so many of you didn't even say anything, it's like, it just says so much about you and like what you like, how seriously you take your position in ASUCR. I don't want to say any names, but there's so many of you that even when I was in that room with you, none of you ever said anything, even if you felt some type of way. So I would just want to encourage all of you to, when you take a position, a title, a powerful title, please use your voice, because it is so powerful for you all to be holding that position. And also, I know many of you were representative for the ethnic and gender student programs, and you almost never had a meeting with your selected offices, and many of those offices didn't even know who you were. So I would just advise that when you take a position, make sure you know how powerful that position is. I knew how powerful it was, but I stepped down for reasons that I've already explained. So to say that if you're going to be an elected official next year, make sure you know how important this position is. Especially, like, just don't stay quiet, because when you stay quiet, you're saying a statement. And that's all I got to say. Bye. Have a good night.
Thanks, Evelyn. I just want to read a comment from Alton Carswell in the group chat. So he said, Hello everyone, I just wanted to inform you all that those students that are experiencing distress due to both COVID-19 and the current Black Lives Matter movement, they can seek assistance with support, problem solving, and resources at UCR Case Management. So they also put the website there, so it's casemanagement.ucr.edu. So definitely use those resources or share that resource with everyone. Thank you, Alton, for that. Does anyone else from the public have anything to say about the business conducted in this meeting? Okay, so I'll take that as a no, and I'll move forward. And again, we're going to go into senator reports, and I'm just going to go based on whoever's on my screen. So Senator Hernandez. And also, this will be the last time you all give senator report, so I don't know if you want to attach on top.
Alright, so basically I've been reaching out to all CNAX professors about the Black Student Union statement that was released. A lot of them did not respond back, and then on top of that, some of them were just being really rude. They were just like, no, we're not gonna do anything about it. But some of them really did care. They're trying to make sure that situations like this could, they're trying to change their finals, trying to make sure that it just improve only. On top of that, I think they're trying to, I forgot the rest, but I know for a fact that one of them was trying to improve only, so it's only going to improve their grade. And also another one to not affect their grade. So I've been trying to reach them out, but some of them, like, they just haven't been responding. I mean, I'm going to try to respond, like, reply back to them, say, like, hey, I need your, like, we need to know, like, what you're going to do. But yeah, and then I also want to mention to y'all, next year will be better. So it's just, like, it's gonna be more transparency, more accountability. It's just gonna get better. And please, if it doesn't, hold me accountable for it. Also too, y'all, I'm gonna miss you. Majority of y'all senators, I'm gonna miss all of you. It's been a really rough year for me. I was going through a lot, and having y'all support has been, it helped me a lot. And I know that some people didn't feel, whoa, my face just zoomed in, I'm so sorry. I'm sorry. But basically, like, I thank you for being there for me when I needed y'all, and I'm going to miss every single one of you, so thank you.
Thank you, Senator Hernandez. Senator Thomas?
Hi, everybody. So the past couple of days have been really stressful for me. As an African-American person, as an African-American woman and a woman of color, especially what happened in today's meeting. Y'all say that you're for, like, Black lives, and you let EVP Cortez disrespect me by muting me, which I do not take as a form of solidarity by any means. As leaders in the future, if you're actually going to stand up for people of color, for Black people, I expect for y'all to take action. Just especially in general. The environment that we had in ASUCR this year will not be accepted in work environments once we get out there. And if it is, I don't think it's the type of environment you want to be in. That being said, for the last couple of days, I've been taking this time to really think about what's going on. I'm going to protest. It's been stressful. But for the School of Public Policy, we're currently working on a celebration for students who are graduating, and I've donated the rest of my senator funds, graduation gifts for those students. But other than that, my experience at ASUCR when I first got elected, I was really excited. And I think you remember this, President Gonzalez, but the first meeting that we had, a fight, and I realized what I was in for. It definitely has been a wild ride, but I've definitely learned a lot in terms of group and collaborative efforts. And I'm happy that Vincent, and the ASUCR external staff help, or not external staff, but just team in general, helped me with this position and has continued to. Thank you so much to everybody, including Preeti and Evelyn, and y'all know who you are, and Julian. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Senator Thomas. Senator Nguyen.
So last Thursday, I was able to have my third meeting with the registrar to make some headway towards our adjustment for second pass. So what she informed me is that as long as we're making these changes, she would take in all the information that she received from the survey and just do a really large overhaul. So this is going to be an endeavor that we're going to work together on throughout the summer. It's going to be past my term, but I still want to see this project out and through and try to make some positive change for the students. And that's the only thing I have to update. Thank you all for voting me in and giving me a platform to help make some kind of contribution to the university.
Thank you, Senator Nguyen. GSOE Senator Zhang.
So today I met with the GSOE Dean alongside the ambassadors to discuss everything that's been going on and to address the list of demands in the recent email sent out, much as I'm glad that he did express his support and he did release a statement in response to it. I know that a lot of the colleges haven't and they don't stand with how GSOE is standing, and so I've expressed to him that I hope he is able to use his voice as an admin to his colleague, and hopefully they could see his perspective. I think lastly, I want to thank Ashley Taylor for coming out because I invited her, and I think it's important to invite student leaders or even just students in other orgs to speak out, and that includes making our meetings more accessible or even just simply invite and just to hear their ideas and input. And I hope to continue working on that, as well as continue to taking constructive criticism and learning to put aside your personal pride. And so I hope to take that next year for my next term, and I hope my colleagues also take that.
Thank you, Senator Zhang. Senator Amin.
Yeah, so I would like to give this final report to thank the students for coming and expressing their emotions and opinions, especially in a stressful time. It helps us, not just ASUCR, but UCR in general, become better. But in the end, this is all a learning experience. None of us have our degrees, none of us are pros, but we're all learning. And my advice to the next AS is don't repeat the past, don't repeat the bad, fix it, and make the good better. So, yeah.
Thank you, Senator Amin. Senator.
Hey everyone. So I guess I'll just start off by thanking everyone for electing me into this position. It's definitely been an interesting opportunity to see what AS can do and kind of the impact you can make as an individual. It's been great to get to know everybody this year. I think there's just a lot of different personalities leading this board. And when those personalities tend to disagree just because you're not on the same wavelength all the time, things can get messy in front of the public. But I really hope everybody can take this and learn that you're going to be dealing with so many different types of people, whether it's in your workday or different school organizations. And it's really important to with your colleagues in that area. I know there have been several times when all of us just kind of have an overloaded mental stress and things get a little bit, but I'd encourage the rest of you to really just try your best to keep that in front of your mind, that empathy is going to help such along the way. And I think throughout this year, there's just been a lack of that on both ends from both AS and the student body. And I think, not everybody's perfect as leaders. Just sometimes you're stuck with the decision to do something bad or to do something worse. And it doesn't always come out and translate in the way that we're intending. But, I hope for everybody to keep in mind that with the information we do have at certain points in the year, we are trying to make the best to our best of our ability. So I think to the next class, just try and stay in great communication, each other up to date and accountable, and really just try and empathize.
Thank you, Senator Kim. Senator Gutierrez.
Hey everyone.
thank you to everyone who showed up today and to everyone who has shown up to this meeting. I think that as we can all agree on, the spring quarter was a heavy, um, moment in our lives, and I know it's something that we are not going to forget. So I think that we as a Senate continue to stick with us, continue to stick with us. I personally will admit that I don't think I've got as many things as I hope to get done for my last quarter in the Senate. But I do look forward to having the opportunity to come back next year as a senator, but get involved in ASUCR and continue to just, make those changes that we've seen. I want to thank everyone who served on the LRC. Somehow we always ended up with morning meetings. I don't know, but thank you for always taking the time for your legislation. I know that students, may really not let you know that in the LRC we do have those tough conversations. And I want to thank everyone who was there, including Miguel, President Portenfor, Miguel, and former President Portenfor, for all your input, all the ways that you led us, and all the ways that, we all volunteer in LRC, and for all the senators who asked tough questions. I really do think that so many students can show up and continue to show up because I know for at least my experience, I've been able to take this to other positions, whether it's residential life or just meeting with people in classes, making sure that your voices of students are heard and that concerns are heard. So just thank you to everyone for such a wonderful learning experience and a moment to grant mentorship to others and to continue to grow as a leader myself and take these lessons on to law school and hopefully my career as an attorney.
Thank you, Senator Chair. Senator Perez.
Yeah, so, I mean, you probably don't know who I am. I kept to myself a lot this quarter. The past quarter, this whole year, I kept to myself a lot. I did one event, which was the TED Talk event for international students, which I was really proud of. But yeah, coming into ASUCR, I had no idea what I was getting into. I had no idea who was in here. I only knew one person in the organization. But coming in, I was very intimidated. I bit my tongue a lot. I didn't say anything about or disagreed on a lot. Mostly because I was intimidated that there was people in ASUCR that, knew what they were doing. They were in it years past. So I felt like I didn't have a lot to say. I just bit my tongue due to intimidation and, just not knowing how ASUCR worked. But I was in the LRC. I was in the International Student Committee. I feel like I did my part with a lot of those committees. And I learned a lot from a lot of you guys, a lot of people in the ASUCR organization, a lot of students who came out to the meetings. Most people will have an immense amount of productivity that I could never compare. I also had the privilege of working with TMT Director Calderon at the end of this quarter, and he has done an immense amount of helpful work. I also worked very closely with Senator Hernandez, who's going to be EVP next year, and I know she's going to do an amazing job. And yeah, I just want to say thank you to everyone who gave me the opportunity for this, and I did learn a lot. Thank you.
Senator Cuevas.
First of all, I'd like to thank everybody that voted me in. And like any organization you join, like Senator Tripp said, there's some ups and downs. I'm sorry for that. But like I said, I learned a lot doing this organization. Felt like I could have done more to promote my vision of creating more professional events within ASUCR, but I did see a lot of events that never were done for, and I think those are the things that ASUCR needs to keep pushing, is pushing new events. To add, I like to thank everybody who really, I am working with all of you, even though a lot of times we would disagree on certain issues, but I think that's just part of the job, is disagreeing. Had a great time. I'm working with the Art Closet, Academic Affairs Committee, and I'll tell you that graduating from UCR, I'm really proud to be graduating from this university. Like, as a first-gen student, like coming from a low-income family, becoming a senator, going through everything, I feel like proud of what I've accomplished. And I know a lot of other senators here are first-gen, first people in their families through college, and I'm really proud of all of you guys for like pushing through and becoming the best, or working to become better leaders. And this is a great experience for you guys to go on and take the real world and make a real change and difference in your communities. Like I said, I'm proud of it. Elected to be a UCR representative, and I'll always be proud to be a UCR alumni.
Hey y'all, how you doing? Well, for me, me reflect on my ASUCR experience first, I guess. It was kind of tough. I'm not gonna lie. You know, you come into ASUCR, you don't really know anybody, so like you walk in, and it's at the time where everybody's hating each other. So like, you obviously like don't fit in the picture. You know, you have people saying, "Hey, can we trust them?" You know, that's that kind of thing. But I think everybody that gave me a chance and gave me to actually work with them, and you know, not go off on assumptions or anything. So that was really, you know, appreciated on your part, and I really, really am happy that you guys gave me that opportunity. I want to give a huge shout out to Andrea, Para. Thank you so much for putting up with me. I know I gave you a hard time, but you know what? Those events happen, and thank you for that. Also, thank you for Lori for also being part of like helping me create those. To Senator Garcia for helping me feel included in ASUCR. You know, that was really scary. My very first meeting. Like I said, everybody was already hating each other. So then when I walk in, you know, I really needed a friend, and thank you for being that friend in, you know, in the office. As for what I've been doing for Senator, that's actually been taking a backseat. I've been working more on, you know, the whole Black Lives Matter movement. I attended the protest in LA recently. I believe it happened this week. And then I've also been, you know, sending out emails as well, and, you know, doing all that stuff, donating and stuff. But, you know, again, just thank you for everybody that helped me out in ASUCR, and it really did change me and affected me in positive ways. You know, you take the criticism, but you know, it's all good. And you know, thank you for everybody that came to this. And again, I'm still not done. Like, if y'all want to conversate, discuss, I'm still here to help y'all out. And thanks again. I appreciate it.
Senator Garcia.
Hi all, thanks for giving me the opportunity to serve you all as senator. I had an awesome time, everyone here. It was definitely a learning experience, and I'm excited to take what I learned from this year and implement it into next year. With that being said, I will drop my email in the chat, so please if you have anything to say, I really want to know, like, any concerns. Literally, you could say like something ranging from like the nicest thing to the meanest thing. Like, I want to be there to like hear what y'all have to say and hopefully learn and maybe use it for next year. And I'm hoping that as much as all the input that I receive, I'll be able to really cater to the needs of the students. But yes, again, thank you very much for letting me, for voting for me into Senate, and I'm excited for next year. Thank you all also, this year's senators, ECAB. Y'all were amazing. Like, I had very good times with you all, despite everything that has happened. Also, don't forget to donate, sign petitions, Black Lives Matter.
Okay. That's senator. That's off the senators, but I don't know if any of the officers in the chat still would want to say anything. I know Carolyn is still in here. Lynn is still in here. You don't have to. I don't want to put you on the spot if you don't want to. I'll just wait like 5 seconds.
Yeah, I want to go ahead and thank everyone as well for voting me in and for coming to the meeting, expressing your concerns, and for working well. We had ups and we had downs, but what we learned from this experience and how we apply it to the future is all that's going to matter, because from here we can only do better. And I just want to say thankful for all the different senators that sat on the committee, that sat on the academic affairs committee, that sat on the diversity council, that sat on the art closet committee. It has truly been an honor serving you all, and I just feel like beyond blessed.
Thanks, Jocelyn. Anyone else? Carolyn? No? Okay, and the next thing is roundtable announcements, right? So before I say what I will say, does anyone have any announcement to say? Okay. So I guess I'll say my part. So ASUCR, what a trip it's been for at least myself. I entered ASUCR my first year as a first-year fellow under the EVP, and my goal was to become the future EVP, and the plan changed the day before the applicant, and I turned it in, and I genuinely can say that it has been like the most life-changing experience that I've had at UCR. I've enjoyed working with you. Don't get it twisted, it's been the hardest job like I have ever had to encounter, whether it be taking criticism, having to wake up like at 7 a.m. to attend meetings at 8 a.m. that went to like 4 p.m. nonstop. But I wouldn't change my experience for the world, and I'm grateful to have been able to lead all of you. Of course, I know that I myself as like a president or as a leader could have done way more and doing outreach and connecting with all of you. But, you know, I recognize that all of us are, and a lot of us don't come from like a privileged background, so we are encountering challenges that come up in our lives like daily, and we have to deal with that on top of going to class, studying, and then going to all our meetings and planning events. A lot of the behind the scenes work isn't seen by the student body, and I want to recognize all that work that's done behind the scenes that isn't seen by everyone, because I know a lot of the work that y'all have put in all year. And I want to give a special thanks to my ECAB this year. I would have not survived this year in every sense of that word if I didn't have Jocelyn, Carolyn, Luis, and Abigail next to me. And I'm going to be sad to leave AS. This has been my life for like the past 4 years. And also want to give a shout out to the first year fellows that I was able to work with the first 2 quarters. Obviously the year ended abruptly and we weren't able to continue how we wanted. I want to thank every student who trusted me to be that voice for a year. I know I could have done a better job, but I hope from what I did do that it was significant enough. And I also want to give a shout out to our pro staff. Someone said in a comment that like AS would not run without pro staff, and that statement is beyond true. If it weren't for Andrea, we would not be able to do our events. If we had questions about money, we'd go to Mags or AIM, we would get that question answered right away. And if it wasn't for Lori, who I had a question for every single day walking into the office, I wouldn't be able to lead y'all as effectively as I was able to this year. Of course, we had our ups and downs. We had a lot of downs and strong downs. But I think what made us grow as leaders was those experiences where we went back up and we and took our criticism and our challenges and turned them into successes. Of course, AS only gives us 1 year to do change, and change doesn't happen from day to night. It's a progressing and I entrust all the new officers that are coming in that they'll do 10 times better than this year, and that's the only goal I could ask for. So I think the best time ever, and to no surprise, I will be going into politics after this. So I'll still be doing this, going to law school. We'll see where that takes me. So keep in touch and don't ever feel like you can't reach out to me, even though I'm gone from UCR. So thank you all so much. Does anyone else have anything to say for roundtable and announcements?
I'd like to add something.
Yeah.
A lot of times we're divided, but I think we need to come together to at least a common goal. And our common goal is the welfare of the students. And I think that if we all align with that goal, I think we were able to create a change in society. But if we all can align towards the same goal, then we will be able to change the way things are. And we can all agree that the way things are isn't the way they should be. And I think if we can all agree that the way things are not isn't the way that it should be, then if we all agree on that, I think we could really make some change. And it's not just us, but it's every single one of us that has to do that change and has to do our part in order to create change in the society we live in today. Because it's not up to one of the senators, it's all up to all of us to create change in our communities.
Thanks, Angela. Angelica, you want to say something?
Yeah, so if y'all weren't like on Twitter, there was recently this trend of like I was statements, which is basically a lot of people stepping forward and you know, admitting to having been like sexually assaulted or having sexual misconduct happen on them. So I just really want to let you know that like ASUCR has noticed that and we are taking action. Like we stand with you all. We're very much in awe and in very I don't know how to put the right words into this. I just want to say that we're very thankful for you all, or for the people who haven't or even have not stepped up. Just know that like you are loved, you're strong, and just remember that there's always someone that you can talk to. And just because of the things that may have or may have not happened into your life, just know that like no matter what, that doesn't define you. I saw this tweet that was like your skin sheds like your cells, and like they give you new cells every like 10 years. So just because that part of whatever happened to you in your body, then you will become a new person with new skin, with a new body in the next 10 years, and so on and so on. So don't let that one event define you. You are strong, you are loved, and you're very brave for stepping out. Even if you haven't stepped out, we still love you and we still appreciate you. That's all I want to say.
Thanks, Angelica, for bringing that up. And yes, just to echo what she said, we have recognized the stuff that has been happening on social media, and we will be working to, one, address it, and then two, have action plans to address those issues as well. And does anyone else have, and then Emily also said, yes, register and vote, because we all know why voting is important. So make sure to register to vote and vote up in November. And then Lori also has a note in the question. So again, thank you everyone for coming. And thank you to all the students who came today. I know that they started leaving slowly, but those who stayed the entire time, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. I wish EVP Cortez would have been able to close this Senate, but I'll do it on her behalf. I know she enjoyed this experience a lot, and is grateful for all of you as well. But obviously, hopefully we all grow and are more cognizant of how we address people, you know? But comes with the job, and set all the politics and that aside. I'm really happy for this experience and too. So thank you all so much. So for the last Senate meeting for ASUCR 2019-2020, I adjourned this meeting at 10:52. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.